morning, sirs. Our group today would like to present the BIM-EGA Reality or Reality of Maritime Sector through UNCLOS. UNCLOS. So before we present, we would like to introduce ourselves. My name is Hao Jian He, and my teammate includes Marcus, Jin Kok Hao, and Eun Jun Wen. Next slide. This is our table of content. Next slide. Let's start with introduction to BIM-EGA. BIM-EGA includes Brunei Darussalam, Indonesia, Malaysia, Philippines, East Asian growth areas, and it formally established in March 1994 in Davao City, Philippines. And its core purpose is to boost economic development, especially in the remote area of these four member nations. To give you an idea of geographical focus, the policies cover the entire Sultanate of Brunei, the province of Eastern Indonesia, Sabah, Sarawak, and Labuan in Malaysia, and Mindanao and Palawan in Philippines. Next slide. The next slide is UNCLOS framework. UNCLOS provides the legal framework for all BIM-EGA maritime operations, and it also ensures the freedom of navigation necessary for trade routes such as Sulawesi Seas. And in terms of sovereignty and boundaries, as well as archipelagic status, UNCLOS defines territorial seas and exclusive economic zones, which allowing each member nations to legally manage and protect their own marine resource. And it's also crucial for Indonesia and Philippines in defining archipelagic baseline for internal navigations. Next slide. Next slide is the debate of rhetoric vs realities. On the side of rhetoric, we have the official promise and plan. Under Vision 2025, BIM-EGA has set highly ambitious target for seamless connectivity and the transition to green port status. These goals are backed by numerous diplomatic moves, which assign agreement that show a strong political commitment to regional maritime cooperation. However, when we look at the reality on the water, there is two challenges. The first one is inactive routes. Many priority routes exist on paper but lack consistent ship operator. And the next challenge is high cost. The complex bureaucracy make regional trade more expensive than planned. Next slide. The next slide is talk about UNCLOS challenge. So we have overlapping claims in areas like South China Seas. Territorial dispute make it hard for members to manage resources together. And secondly, security issues such as piracy and smuggling remain a reality, proving that legal framework alone are not enough to secure this wastewater. And finally, jurisdiction is a major hurdle. Even with defined exclusive economic zone, it is very difficult to enforce unified law across four different national systems. Now I will pass to next presenter.
Thank you. So now I'm going to talk about the critics of policy BIM-EGA. Firstly, limited tangible outcomes and uneven implementations. Many projects are lack of strong designs, monitoring, and evaluations. Intra-EGA trade has struggled to reach ambitious targets. Many sea routes suffer from low loss factors and leading to suspensions. Secondly, persistent connectivity and institutional barriers. Challenges include inadequate infrastructure, high logistic costs, differing standards in CIQ, which are custom, immigration, and quarantine. Maritime routes often face sustainability issues due to insufficient cargo volumes, over-reliance on national governments rather than sub-regional integrations. Thirdly, security and geopolitical risks. The maritime domain is vulnerable to piracy, terrorism, and transnational crime. This undermines confidence in corporations. UNCLOS helps frame EEZs and dispute resolution but does not resolve sovereignty disputes or prevent external pressure. Next, I will talk about the advantages of BIM-EGA. Firstly, economic integration and growth. It narrows development gaps by linking boosting trades, investment, and tourism. Maritime connectivity reduces reliance on distance hubs, lower costs for goods movement, and supports value-added activity like fisheries. Secondly, enable maritime opportunities. Clear EEZ frameworks facilitate resource exploration, navigation freedoms, and cross-border shipping. It promotes sustainable use in corporation and in semi-enclosed seas, and also enhancing food security and blue economy initiative. Thirdly, strategic diplomatic benefits strengthens in ASEAN solidarity, builds people-to-people ties, and attracts external partnerships, serve as a platform for joint infrastructure and crisis resilience. Next, I'll talk about the disadvantage of one EGA. First, high implementation costs and risk. Infrastructure projects like ports and shippings are capital intensive with long payback periods, especially in low initial volumes. Financing gaps and uneven capacity amongst members creates imbalance. Next is vulnerability to external shocks. Pandemics, geopolitical tension, climate change, like sea level rise, will affect the baselines, and environmental degradation impacts maritime operations. Lastly, sovereignty and dispute sensitivities. Cooperation can be complicated by unresolved boundaries, even as UNCLOS offer tools for delimitations. Differing national interests may slow harmonization. So that's all from me. I'll pass to my teammates.
Thank you. For my part, I will evaluating the BIM EGA maritime sector. There's several areas require improvement. First, there's weak enforcement of UNCLOS regulations. A clear example is the ongoing disputes in the South China Sea, where overlapping territorial claims among countries, including Malaysia, Philippines, and others, create uncertainty and weaken maritime governance. Second, uneven infrastructure development is still a challenge. Regions such as Eastern Indonesia and Mindanao in the Philippines face underdeveloped ports and logistics systems, which limits efficient trade between BIM EGA. Third, maritime security issue remains serious. The Sulu-Sulawesi Sea has historically experienced piracy and armed robbery, disrupting shipping routes and increasing costs for businesses. In addition, there is limited coordination among member countries, as policies are often implemented individually rather than regionally. Lastly, poor data sharing and transparency reduce the effectiveness of maritime planning and decision making. This real-world challenge shows that while BIM EGA has strong potential, practical improvements still need improvement. To enhance sustainability, several practical strategies can be implemented. First, countries should strengthen cooperation under UNCLOS by improving dispute management mechanisms, especially in sensitive areas like the South China Sea. Second, investment in green port infrastructure is essential. For example, ports such as Port of Tanjung Pelepas have adopted more efficient logistics systems, which can be expanded across the BIM EGA region to reduce environmental impact. Third, improving maritime security collaborations is crucial. A successful example is the trilateral patrol initiative between Malaysia, Indonesia, and the Philippines in the Sulu-Sulawesi Sea, which has helped reduce piracy incidents. Additionally, sustainable fisheries management is important to combat illegal fishing, which remains a problem in regional waters and threatens long-term maritime resources. Finally, digitalization and data sharing systems should be strengthened to improve coordination, efficiency, and transparency across the countries. In conclusion, by applying these practical solutions, BIM EGA can move beyond rhetoric and become a sustainable and effective maritime economic cooperation framework. That's all for our presentation. Thank you.